Okay, good night, dear listeners and casual viewers, subscribers and viewers. So this will be a microscopic examination of 4 slides. I'll try to do it briefly because honestly I don't have the patience for a thorough examination, and I've taken only one sample from each of the containers. But I mean, hopefully it will be enough just to get the notion of what we have. So one is fresh semen sample, just from ejaculation right now. Thanks to the ever helpful Linkro, and 3 others will be first from the what I call the alien container. So I actually did not manage to find like a very big life forms like I've seen like last time that I handled it, even though I've seen pretty big ones, like string legs, huge ones, but I couldn't find it now in the mess. Half of it is actually burned already. So we don't see very big life forms, but hopefully we'll see interesting stuff. And the second of the containers is, if you remember, it's sea salt with bicarbonate, sodium bicarbonate, what you call the Hebrew soda l'ishtiya, drinking soda, which was proved to be very successful in the last examination. I didn't touch it since last examination. I didn't add soda, but let's see, maybe it's still nice. And the fourth one will be just one from from the huge aquarium, from the metal aquarium, the big one that we have in there. It's the main aquarium with 5, 6, 7 liters of material. This is the largest one. So we'll actually also I've taken a drop of that, so should be interesting. So without much speech, let's start with the semen sample. We use the 64 magnification, which is the normal magnification. So this is semen. We see neros, all sorts of kinds, which is nice. We see they don't look very round. I don't know if it means something. They are kind of in all sorts of shapes, which, there are certain neros, but not in uniform shape. I don't know if it's something to be worried about. I guess not. This is disgusting. Hopefully it's from the hands, and not from the semen, but who knows. Yep, certainly the semen, if you're realistic, it still contains all sorts of life form, which is disgusting. We see the moving, the all sorts of moving things, which is probably sperm cells. Maybe we'll zoom in to watch it more closely. So yes, these are the famous swimmers. In the past I haven't seen them because I was always electrocuted, so they were always dead, but now they seem to be alive mostly. Nice. Maybe we'll zoom in even a little more. Yeah, so these are swimmers, certainly sperm cells. Nice. Okay, let's get that back to 64. Certainly it's a polluted sample. I mean, probably because my body is still crawling with all sorts of life forms, which is very bad, but I mean, this is the situation, because I'm always, infected with all sorts of things by my, by the Israelis. This is a nice Nero over there, and more Neros. The Neros are mostly, this is a zombie, what you see, like the life form, like to the right is a zombie, you see it's empty. I mean, the Neros, I mean, it's actually normal that they are not like, distributed uniformly, because the way that, I mean, you put the cover in the slide, I mean, like heavier stuff is, I mean, mostly, I mean, they tend to be, I mean, centered, in like all sorts of like places. But these are certainly Neros. They are pretty big and healthy, but they do not look very round. I mean, I don't know if it means something. But these are certainly Neros, and I would say the healthy size. Definitely healthy size and healthy quantity, but I mean not particularly round. But it shouldn't bother us too much, I guess. Maybe we can zoom in this one. You can hear the voices of the hats. They are always, I mean, accompanying me in my studies. The hats, the American hats. This might even be in a Stargate position, I'm not sure, like, I mean, because it kind of looks like, I mean, what's in the inside is not like what's in the outside, so this might even be in an open Stargate position, which is nice. Nice. This is a nice one. I mean, the small one on the center is like very healthy and round. The others are more like, I don't know, weirdos, but still, I mean, yeah, we definitely have many Neros and some in the Stargate position, like, which is great. Which is really great. Let's get back to 64. This is 160. Okay, excellent. That's another very big one in the Stargate position, which is nice. And another open one, great. I mean, they seem healthy, just a little bit contoured, but I mean, yeah, it's okay. They don't have to be, perfect like this one. This one is perfect, You see, completely round shape, and this is a very nice one. I mean, not terrible amount of life form, but of course I would rather that there will be none, but this is still a situation that I'm still infected with all sorts of stuff, but it's getting better, I mean, but very gradually it's getting better. This one is a beauty. I cannot zoom in because it's on the edge of the slide, but it's a real beauty, You see, it's besides all the, the sperm cells, and like a very, very beautiful one. Both shape and size, and this is like, not in the open, it's clearly not in the solar gate position, because you see that, I mean, you see the kind of like, I mean, the fluid that, I mean, in it, I mean, it is continuing the shape of what's outside, so it's like not in the open position, as opposed to others that we've seen. This is a disgusting life form, what can I say? And it's even moving, which is disgusting, but what can I say? I'm still infected with stuff all the time. And more Neros. So okay, this is the end of the slide. Mostly I would say okay, sample. I don't like the life form, and certainly I don't like that we've seen living ones, like, because mostly when you see life forms that are outside of my body, they are zombified or dead, and we've seen one that is living, and it's not like good news. It means that I'm still infected with stuff, and I mean this must be stopped. But I mean, you need to understand. I mean, and in order for me to be infected, I don't even need to actually like eat something. They can infect me remotely using the bicycle mechanism. And that's what they do all my life, and also to my children, because they can infect me remotely using the bicycle mechanism. And this is sad. This is sad, but I mean, there is nothing that I can do. I mean, even if I just stay in the house, in this like, never leave like the apartment, there are the heads that I mean always do it to me. You know, the American guardians that are paid by the American government, you know, to protect me and also to infect me with diseases. So as long as I'm in this jail, honestly, as long as I'm in Israel, I mean, I will keep being infected by with these creatures, which is sad. But I mean, it's part of my torture, and I need to be rescued from this hell. Hopefully, the Starship will just, I mean, end all humans, and the problem will be solved. But for now, I mean, I would say that, I mean, it's not nice to see like living, you know, creature like inside your sperm, but I will comfort myself in that. I mean, we didn't see many living creatures besides like the moving one or one or two others, and we've seen a lot of Neros, like a healthy amount of Neros in very good like size, like big sizes, and even some in the Stargate position, and together with a bunch of, you know, sperm cells that were vivid, and so it was kind of like, I mean, it was a healthy. I mean, at least from that perspective, it's a healthy sample, and hopefully I will be rescued from this hell, and I will not see this junk in my semen. But I mean, for now, it's probably okay. I mean, you know, related to the situation. Again, you know, in order to be infected, I don't even need somebody to put something in my food. Like, you know, they can do it remotely, and they do it remotely. All the heads, you know, the American heads. Okay, so next will be a sample from the metal container, like the aquarium, which is like the biggest one with the most material. This is, I say, this is like the backbone of the army, backbone of the navy, because it's by far the largest aquarium. I think the sample is, I've placed too much material in the sample, so it's not, the cover is like floating above it, so maybe it will be difficult to focus, but we'll see what we can do. So as it's a very thick sample, so it'll be difficult to focus, I guess. But we'll see what we can do. So we'll see Neros and hiding, you know, this is barren stuff, barren material. This is a zombified life forms, dead Neros, huge Nero. Okay, this is a huge one. This is 64 magnification, so this Nero is huge, like really fantastic one, and also obviously with the Stargate, you know, open Stargate, you know, open portal position, and a huge one. Difficult to focus, but certainly Nero, certainly huge one, and in the open like position. This is the 64 magnification, which means that this is like a starship Nero, like a very nice one. And many smaller ones, medium ones. And this, I think, is actually a behemoth. So yes, this is a Nero, which is amazing because it's huge. It's even bigger than the one before. We cannot see all of it. This is like the mothership size Nero. It's almost like, I mean, if the radius of it would have been like twice the size, we could have actually detected by the naked eye, which is amazing. Like you are almost like in a place with our ecosystem that we can see Neros that are with the naked eye, which is amazing. But this is certainly Nero. I mean, certainly you can see something that is completely different in the inside than the outside, which is amazing. Truly amazing. Maybe another one. I'm not even sure. I mean, it's too contoured to understand what's going on. I cannot use the magnification of less than 64, even though it's possible, but I need lenses. I don't have all my lenses. Specifically not the eye lenses. I only have the 16 eye lens. And when I bought the microscope, microscope, I had like smaller lenses with it. Of smaller magnification, but I don't have it. It's somewhere, in the storage. So I cannot use smaller than 64 magnification, which would have been very helpful in this situation. 20 or 30 magnification, I cannot use it. 64 is the minimum. Because I only have one eye lens, I can still play with the objective lenses that they're part of the microscope. Certainly, it's a great. It's a good sample. We see huge ones, we see smaller ones, we see all sort of we see dead ones, which is also okay. This part of life, I guess. We definitely see dead neros. But also, many living ones and many huge ones, and see all sorts of sizes. Not many life forms. This is something that we see less and less life forms as we progress. This is of course due to the lack of oxygen because it's sealed metal containers. So only the ones that are anaerobic survive, and there are not many of these. It's true both for alien life forms and for Earth life forms that mostly they need the oxygen, but not all of it. But we see, very, very little life forms, if at all. And with time we see less and less. This actually, as I said in the past, it hinders, the creation and the growth of the neros because they need it in order to eat. But they can still eat other stuff as well, and they do it because we see that they are very big. And we see all sorts of kinds of neros here, which is great. Many dead ones, actually, which is not a good, too many dead ones. I need to think how to replenish this, aquarium. Probably supply it with oxygen, maybe just, air supply, maybe bicarbonate sodium, and maybe, add maybe, microbes, from rotten food, microbes that are created in a culture, in a standard way from rotten food, so that they will have things to eat, the neros, because we see tremendous amount of dead ones, and all of these are dead ones, and it's not very good. Too many dead ones, actually, too many dead ones. But still, a good quantity of living ones and nice quantity of huge ones, which is nice. So it's always nice to see huge ones. But certainly, these metal containers should be taken care of. I'm kind of abandoned it, and I'm happy that I now took this sample because I know that I need to replenish it both with oxygen and with food for the neros, and also life forms that will be served as food, of course. Because currently it's dying. There are still plenty of neros and there are still huge ones, but the smaller ones they are dying, and it's not good. They need more. They need energy, and they need life forms to eat. Okay, so so it's nice. If I had more time and inclination, maybe I would have taken more samples from this aquarium. But yeah, we see neros. We see of all sizes, and it's fine. This is another dead one. Okay. Good sample relatively, and it's nice to see the huge ones like the starships. But this culture should be taken care of, and specifically add oxygen, add sodium bicarbonate, and I should add germs. I actually have several of germ cultures from rotten food that I have, biological germs, normal germs. That should be a great, food supply for this huge. It's a huge metal container, so it requires. It needs to be replenished. It's the first time that I see so many dead ones, and it's not nice. But still, there are plenty of living ones and plenty of huge ones. So it's not like a total loss. Of course, far from it. It's actually still, very impressive container, especially when taking into account that we've seen so many big ones and impressive ones, and with the open Stargate position, which is lovely. So this should be taken care of. So this sample is from the alien container, which contain mostly oil and bivax, and very little like liquids. Even though relatively there are more liquids now because I burned like half of the alien container and I mostly use the solids for the burn. So now, I mean, there is like relatively more like liquids than before. So let's see what's going on over there. Okay, now the specimen starts to appear. We see Neos in the closed position. We see many Neos, like, I mean, in a closed position, like, I mean, seems to me that they lack food, I mean, also as well. So here, this should be replenished as well. They certainly lack food. After some time, we need to replenish the food. Again, I mean, salt, sodium carbonate, maybe little oil, and most importantly, germs. So we will do it, of course. Because it's not really healthy what we see. We see, I mean, we still see many Neos, but I mean, they look like in closed position and not vibrant, and we don't see many life forms. I mean, as opposed to what I've seen in my own eyes, not many life forms. Maybe just, you know, the lack of oxygen. I mean, after some time, there's like, I mean, this is disgusting. I don't know what it is. Many news that looks like they're transforming to something else, which is actually, it's possible. I mean, sometimes they transform themselves to something else. It's not unheard of. It's one of the things that they can do. Here you see all sorts of like life forms, you see, in the background. More life forms, which is nice. I mean, I guess. Even pretty big ones, I would say. Many Neos. These actually look healthy. Maybe we'll zoom in here. These look very healthy. Yeah, nice Neos. Maybe we'll even use like the maximum magnification. And difficult to focus. Oh, it's difficult to focus. So let's keep with 64. A good looking ones. This looks like a big Neo that is transformed to something else. In it we see all sorts of smaller Neos. Interesting. And again, very little light forms. And this is not a good news. This is not good news because they are needed. And this is like look like a dead, disgusting life form. This is a huge life form that looks quite dead, I would say, but I'm not certain. So, I mean, this one should also be replenished with, so it will be more vivid, and maybe add some oil. We still want to keep you know, the special character of this aquarium, which is, you know, mostly should be oil, so I'll not use water or pee. I'll use just oil and beeswax, and also some foods, germs to replenish the ecosystem. But it's not a bad sample because we've seen many Neros, but they just, they look a little bit tired and closed, so. Okay. And last one is from the sealed container that is made of like the seawater, seawater with, no, not the seawater, sorry, it's from the metal container, like from the liquid container, the big one, but with the added sodium bicarbonate. It was successful in the last check, but I did not actually replenish it at all, so it's the same material from the last time. Just after some time, of course, there is like less, less and less oxygen, probably none by now. But let's see what we've got there. So it's water from the metal from the big container, but with the sodium bicarbonate, and I think also salt and maybe sugar, but mostly sodium bicarbonate. So yes, we already see, the phenomenon of the fat Neros that we've seen last time, which means that, sodium bicarbonate actually helps them become fat, which is it's good. It's obviously good. It's not bad. Pretty much consistent with what we've seen last time, which is abundance of like fat Neros, which is, mostly good news. Fat is good. For Neros at least. It's more like, arguable, with regards to other life forms, but for Neros, when they are fat, it means that they are strong, which is great. And this is, of course, significant. It's not just, we see it right away that they are very fat. And this is most certainly because of the sodium bicarbonate. It's very, obvious, I think. Really nice ones, really nice ones. Interesting that we don't see by now, huge ones, but we see fat ones. It makes them fatter. I don't know what it means, but it's most, of course, I'm sure that it means something, because it's not just like, this one is both big and fat. Like, it's really easy to see that they're different than the usual ones. That they are significantly fatter. This is a beautiful one, both big and fat, and with the Stargate, phenomenon, like open Stargate. So yes, sodium bicarbonate, I think it's established that it's a great additive for the ecosystems. This one is both big and fat and open, with the open position, which is great. So yeah, I think it's we can establish the fact that it's actually a great addition, like to the mixture, the sodium bicarbonate, and we should. I don't have much of it. Maybe I'll buy something, even though I don't have money at all. But maybe I ask my mother for a couple of shekels, just to buy a little bit of sodium bicarbonate. Wow, these are amazing. These are amazing. Real beauty, real beauty. Wow, wow, big and fat, and open, Stargate. Wow. So yes, sodium bicarbonate. It's my assumption. Is that what they do is it's sodium bicarbonate. Actually, it's a pretty complex molecule, but it contains 3 atoms of oxygen. My assumption is that the Nero just take the oxygen from it, but I'm not certain. Maybe they take something else because it's quite quite complex. But my assumption is that they use the oxygen from they take it from the molecule. They can certainly do it, and I think that's what they do in order, to use the sodium bicarbonate in such a great, because we see, this is consistent with the previous check that, it's amazing, like a great sample, excellent sample. Wow, wow, so nice. Maybe zoom in here. Wow. But where's the big one? And so here is the big one, yes. So nice, so nice. And more big ones. Really, I mean, this is amazing, amazing sample. So yeah, so sodium bicarbonate is the way to go, especially if you don't have air supply and you keep sealed containers and you need the oxygen. So certainly it's helpful. Okay, so excellent sample, especially the last one. And so we have our homework of how to replenish the various containers so they will not be neglected. And this will be all for now. Hopefully the starships are also multiplying, in the skies, as like the neos that are multiplying, in the containers. And I really need to be out of this prison because I mean the heads keep infecting me with stuff which is not something that I like at all. And I also miss my daughters very much. And I also don't like to be poor and humiliated and helpless. And also, I mean, the starship are going to kill all of you, so I mean, you better stop the movement of mouses and tongues and very quickly, very, very quickly.